Oh. Oh. Welcome to Meaningful Mornings. Mithya and Nitya sound quite similar. Mithya is that which is experienced and is changing. Nitya is that which is experienced and is unchanging. Meaningful Mornings is a workshop for us to shift our purpose from mithya, that which is changing, to nitya, that which is unchanging. And if your purpose deepens, so will your peace. Nobody wants a peace that is changing. We all need a peace that is unchanging. Chapter 2, verse 37, Sri Krishna completes encouraging Prince Arjuna to know responsibility. He uses the word dharma. And then he adds, your responsibility should be infused with yoga. In verse 38, through your responsibilities, be balanced. Be more balanced. In verse 39, the most balance, when there's complete balance, you will become free. Free of any dependent joy. As long as there's a dependent joy, we will shake, intellectually or mentally or physically. In our last verse, Sri Krishna is encouraging us, almost trying to sell us on why we should infuse yoga into our responsibilities. We will be more content. The intention path is most efficient, is most effective. He shares. Neha bikrama nashosti pratyavayo na vidyate. There's no loss and there's no opposite effect. So this is efficient, this is effective. And the intention path is a bridge. We're all used to outside bridges. They're physical. Karma yoga is a bridge to jnana yoga. Our actions are a bridge to knowledge, and he shares. Swalpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. Walking this bridge, even in a minimal way, will lead to maximum utility. We will become more courageous. We will become more content. A further instruction or guidance is given in verse 41. In a tactile way, how does a responsibility look that is infused with yoga? Vyavasayatmika buddhihi Ekeha kuru nandana bahushaka hyanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. This is a very practical verse and very much needed for our present culture and present mindset. Do listen carefully. Buddhihi, one's determination or one's mindset should be vyavasayatmika, which means one-pointed, or should be singular. This is the translation. Personalizing this. Karma yoga, karma yajna, the intention path, all of these synonyms. This is a one-way path. One way, even more intensely shared, is the only way. Without being intentional in what you do, you will never feel independent joy. There will always be sadness. We often hear that the spiritual path is a one-way street. Better than one way is only way. And we should have that intention, we should have that determination, which is why we engage in meaningful in the morning. We try to immerse ourselves in that which is meaningful, self-development, responsibilities of the day in the morning, because this is how we should begin. In many of our courses, I've shared the importance of being vigilant. That self-development is the only way one can be happy. To be careful of what one is associating with, what one is thinking of. In many schools, in many organizations, there's now a culture of encouraging mindfulness. You're all aware of that? You're exposed to that? And I laugh to myself because I know it's important, but back in the day, instead of mindfulness, what did people do? They paid attention. Correct? Now, we've gone so far from paying attention that our thoughts are everywhere, which means our purposes are everywhere. Eka iha kurunandana. One has to have a single-pointed mind to unite with one's intellect, which is to have a single-pointed purpose, and that is nandana or ananda, joy. All that we do, we should be cheerful in what we're doing. The nature of the mind is samshaya. I've shared this many times in Meaningful Mornings. Samshaya means with a doubt. We see this in Prince Arjuna with his confusion. The more confused one is, the more scattered one is. And quite often, when our purpose is a person, then our mind dominates the intellect. I've highlighted many times how attachment inhibits us from following guidance because our focus is on a person. Shri Krishna is encouraging Prince Arjuna, evolve from samshaya to nishchaya. Samshaya, that is the doubting mind. Nishchaya, the decisive intellect. The mind has to become more focused for it to unite with such an intellect. And here is where our meaning should evolve from a person to a purpose. When the reason we live is a purpose, joy or divinity, enlightenment, service, this one way or only way will all become real. Conversely, the third quarter, bahushaka hi anantascha. There are many who don't follow such a guidance. And so what is their mind like? Bahushaka. Endless branches. And with those branches, there are so many other stems that come from that, correct? More branches, more branches. It is anantaha, it is endless. If we don't have the clarity that karma yoga will lead to jnana yoga, we will always feel we are the exception, and we will try to find ways to circumvent or to find a hack to being joyous. And we do this in different styles. I've been observing with different people that a new fad is to explore joy through drugs. That they're trying to take different drugs in different ways to make their mind more focused. See, that's that sense of karma yoga is not the one way or only way. And why are they feeling that? Because the mind is distracted. What does the mind want to do? Not go towards the ego and fix it, but rather go and become extrovert. If drugs were the way for one to know vastness, we would be born with this. This would be natural to who we are. But a drug is an external substance, correct? It comes into your system, it leaves your system. The last quarter, buddhayaha avyavasayinam. The one who is not clear about karma yoga, their thoughts are uncommitted. Their thoughts are fickle. And this is a seed that Sri Krishna is planting that he will elaborate on in the 62nd or 63rd verse, where he shares, Dhyayato vishayan pumsaha. For that person who is distracted, what happens to them? Buddhi nasho pranashyati. Because their mind is so powerful, and powerful in the extrovert, that their intellect becomes destroyed. And what that means is impotent. Then one is not a human. One is an animal. One is a plant or a stone. What is unique about humans is our ability to be intentional. That is the substance of the intellect. In Swami Chinmayananda's commentary, he describes this conflict between the mind and the intellect being decisive, the mind being doubtful, as having self-canceling thoughts. At 7:15, when we begin asana, the intellect says, yes, engage in asana. The mind says, why? You're not the body. But then the intellect comes back and says, but your hunger shows that you're the body. But then the mind says, sleeping is better. And what happens is we get exhausted then. You've all experienced this. I'll share more about this tomorrow. I just want to emphasize the practical aspect here. In our Satsang and Smile course, the first practice I gave everyone in terms of attachment and love was to compartmentalize. Compartmentalize your thoughts towards a relationship, because that will help you to develop focus. Then when I shared thoughts on success versus fulfillment, the practice given was serve. Because when you serve, you're not thinking about yourself. You're thinking about the person or the purpose you're serving, correct? So again, the mind becomes more focused. In tonight's satsang in our course, I'm going to be speaking on arrogance versus confidence. The one who's arrogant is insecure, so their mind succumbs to likes and dislikes. Whereas a confident person, they have conviction and they have clarity about purpose. So compartmentalize, serve, and this verse will become more real. From inspiration to application, the recent application was to insert the phrase, do your best and leave the rest in your secular conversations. How many of you tried this? See, I don't have enough time for you to share in the chat, which is why I ask you to share on our website so I can focus and read your responses. My observation here, whatever you say, you think also. If I keep saying cereal, 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 I'm going to start thinking it, and I'm going to move in that direction, correct? Be careful of the words you use. Your application for today is to unitask. I have many general messages. One you're already engaged in, which is to be a morning person. Another general message is unitasking. Unitask in all of your food and drink consumption. I know we can't unitask all day because we're not trained in that, but every time you eat, every time you drink, make sure you're only eating shanti, shanti, shantihi. Be safe, be sound, be serene, be happiness.